I have to say that the V-flats are probably one of my favorite accessories of all time. I mean, if I had to only have one light, I would have one light and V-flats versus two lights because you can do so much with them. And I know they look really big, but I have a small studio, and even if you're in a home studio, this is how small they fold up. And it seems, obviously still big, but it's much smaller than it looks, and that it actually is once you unfold them. But you can do so much with V-flats, and they're so versatile. It's definitely, if you have money for two lights, get one light and get a set of V-flats. I think they're 350 or 380 for a pair of them, which, I mean, they're foam core. But, if you want to buy foam core somewhere um, and do this yourself, to do it a do-it-yourself kit, you usually have to buy a whole case of foam core to be able to get the foam core shipped to you. Then you have to have it trucked because it's too big for UPS to carry it. So it's not a bad idea to use them, or to buy them through V-Flat World, because in the long run, it's actually cheaper. And believe me, I researched it. Anyway, I'm just throwing different configurations up that you can do with this. Throwing a light into the V-flat white side and having the dark side to, eat up some of the light, to absorb some of the light, and the different configurations. It's not only, to add light or to subtract light, but there's just so many things you can do with them. I mean, for me, this is great for that upfill versus using a reflector. You have them there, you just put them in and use them. So this, I put the light on the right side and reflect back on the left side and have that bounce back up into the model. This is, there's just so many uses. So anyway, I did a quick shoot with myself, and I just wanted to show you this because I do practice daily with lighting and try different techniques. And for this one, I start off with two speed lights, and then I move to one speed light and an umbrella. That's all I use for this entire shoot. I just wanted to show you that, with this type of setup and with the V-flats like this, what you can do and how you can use them to create great light, even if you could only afford a set of V-flats and a speed light. They work, and they work well. So anyway, I hope you enjoy the shoot, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them below. But I really wanted to walk you through this and show you what can be done, and literally how I practice in the studio. It takes practice, and I've been doing this since 1982, and I still practice today. I still, push out ideas and how this is going to work rather than doing it while the subject is in my studio. If you do it with yourself, I mean, get a tripod, use the timer, and see what the photos look like, and see what you have to change. For this, I have one speed light behind the one wall over there, the one V-flat, shining, it would flash, behind me into that V-flat. This is just something to give dimension to your photo. And I'm showing these right out of the camera so you can see what they look like. This is a 2-second touch up in Photoshop, or actually in Lightroom. Lightroom is so good anymore. And everything that you see, I just did these through iPad. This isn't done on the computer. I'm not doing any major retouching on these. I just wanted to show you really the basics and what you can do. So that first photo, I looked at the eyes, and I'm old, so I literally have to fill in, drop that light down to fill in my eyes a little bit more, because obviously if the light's too high with somebody old, the bags are going to show. Like it'll shadow the wrinkles more than they should. Dropping it down is going to put more light into the wrinkles and not make them look as pronounced. And the backlight, I just moved up because the photo that I got, it was too shadowy in the back, and it wasn't, powerful enough. So I wanted to turn that backlight up. And I'll take the camera around and show you what the scenario is. So this is just a really quick, dirty retouch in Lightroom, so you can see what can be done And obviously, you know, if you have a good looking subject, that's going to be a much better looking picture. But, you know, if you can make yourself look good, you know, if you if you look anything like me, you can make anybody look good. So still wasn't getting a big enough spread for the light, you know, so I'm throwing a dome on the speed light, more of a diffuser kind of a thing, just a small magnetic diffuser that goes on the flash, just to see how it looks. And the only thing I had available was a 12-second timer. That's why these are taking so long in between, you know, pushing the release and getting over there. So this one I threw a red on. I'm sorry, this was the red gel. I wanted to see how it looks. Now, exploring this more, I probably would reflect the red into a white card or a reflector to even it out more. But that pink spot that I'm getting up there is from the umbrella. So that's, you know, it's diluting the color, if you will. So, you know, for that, you would need a grid on that main light up front, you know, to contain it from hitting or moving it over more so it doesn't hit that back wall. So now we're going to switch this around to use a speed light like directly into the V flat to make that V flat a giant reflector. So you won't need an umbrella. You would use the V flat as your, you know, diffuser or whatever you want to call it, to diffuse light, make it a big light source with just one little speed light. So, you know, the first time you do this, it's a matter of height. You know, if I was sitting, okay, well, I can have the speed light this high, but if I'm standing, I need it this much higher. The second V flat I'm just using to reflect light back on me so it softens the shadows. And we'll take one shot and see how it looks. You know, your first shot, nobody ever gets right. So don't stress over little things. This is the strobe going into the V flat. I have it set at 10. I'm going to shut off the main light. So what I do with this is I'm just pulling over the camera. I'm literally going to use the camera that I'm filming this on to focus because, you know, they're selfies, so I need to focus. So I set my focus and I'll just put the camera back over and start. And like I said, the second speed light in the umbrella, that's off now. That's going to not play any part in this whatsoever. So, you know, going down to one speed light, a lot of people only have one speed light or one studio light. And you can do a ton of stuff. It doesn't have to be a speed light. It can be like a studio strobe bouncing into that V flat. It doesn't matter. But let's take a look and see how the first image comes out. Sorry about the studio. It is a mess. I've been so damn busy. I haven't had a chance to clean. Oh, here comes the second shot. Now, the first shot, I apologize. You know, when you're doing this, don't get discouraged. And believe me, I know how quickly people can get discouraged when doing this stuff because, you know, you're just not going to fall into fake lighting, to, you know, strobe lighting. It takes practice. I mean, here it is. There's the first shot. You know, obviously it's way too bright. I have it set at 10. The V flat is too close. I have to pull it back because you see that line on the wall behind me? You know, that's from the V flat being too far or too close to me. You know, so it's casting a shadow. So the thing I have to do is move the V flat away. I'm going to move it up closer to the camera so it gets more of my face, you know, reflects back more of my face, and I'll move the other V flat up as well. Now I think I dialed it down to maybe 8 to see how it works. And I mean, it's closer, but it's, you know, it's still not perfect yet. And then I'll pull the other V flat up to act even more as a reflector. But anyway, just so you know, it is trial and error. And everything's set to manual. I'm not doing any TTL or anything like that because I don't have available to me yet on the Leica. I know Profoto has put out a Leica branded remote, which is coming out soon, or maybe it is out already. Still don't think I'll buy it. I think it's $400, $399. I like the small remotes that Connect, it's called, and I use the Nikon brand for the Leica. And remember, all this stuff is not camera specific or strobe specific. You can do this with any brand. of anything with lights, with camera, anything. So, don't get caught up on this kind of stuff with, oh, I need this brand of light or I need that brand of light. You don't need, I mean, you can use any umbrella. V-flats, I mean, there's one company that makes them. There is a new company that has the framed V-flat, which I don't like at all. You have to put them together, and they're lightweight, so that's great. So they break down, very small, but you still have that gap down the bottom. And there's so much you can do with these type of V-flats, turning them into a backdrop or a box for a model to be in, or there's just so much you can do with them. And I don't like the feet on the other ones. It's just my opinion. Obviously, material you'll never get right. So anyway, I move this up even more. I want to get more even lighting, and I turn my body the opposite direction, because when I looked at that photo, do you see how much thinner I look now versus when I was turned the other direction? I look totally fat. So when you turn the body away from the light and turn the head into the light, you're slimming out the body and highlighting the face. So anyway, that's just a quick tip there. That's why I did that. That's why I turned. Now I'm going to throw the second speed light in that V-flat over there. That's going to light the backdrop. So it's like another giant reflector or giant light source that's going to give me even lighting behind me with, again, just two V-flats and two speed lights. No other modifiers, no boxes, or you know what I'm saying, soft boxes or whatever. Anyway, this is the same thing. It's trial and error when you start this stuff. I apologize, I'm not really focusing. I'm just shooting so you can see the light. The light on this is more important than the focus, obviously. I'm not going to use these for self-portraits anywhere. So I'm just shooting to show lighting and to practice lighting myself. If I wanted a quick setup. So me, I love that, but I think it was too hot on the right side. I think the right speed light going into that for the backdrop just needs to be turned down and pulled back a little bit. If I pull it back a little bit, it's not going to spill that much on my face, and it'll create a better look and a better finished image. So just, literally 8 inches move back, take another shot and see how it looks. The image should be coming up soon. It's amazing how much you have to talk during these things to get everything in. But when it's this long of a video, I just thought it would be, you'd appreciate more seeing all this and all the errors that I make. So, I do like this shot. It's definitely better for a shorter model, or I would raise that even more, because, the top of my head was just a little dark, but nothing major. You can pull that up in post if you wanted to. But anyway, so we're going to go on to the next setup now. I should probably think about putting some music in between these things so you guys aren't bored out of your mind while you're waiting for the next setup. Now this box that I'm going to set up can be very, very cool, like leaving the box in the photo and or just using one speed light with an umbrella to even out light. So there's so many things you can do with this. So you can do a really good beauty shot with this. I'm not even going to attempt it with my face, but one umbrella, camera closer, a tight-in headshot. Even if you wanted to throw in just a colored backdrop on that back part of the V-flat in the square, it would look very, very cool, and you'd be able to get some really, really good lighting like this. So this, like I said, one speed light, an umbrella, and that's all you need. There's nothing else. I'm not leaving the speed light in there. Again, I'm just focusing really quick to get some accurate focus, which really it isn't, but it's close enough for this. By the way, that's just a small deep umbrella. It's a Profoto one, but you can get a no-name brand off of Amazon for 15 bucks, I'm sure. I don't give links here for affiliate or whatever. You can type in photo umbrella in Amazon and find it just as quick. Those grips I'm using from Magmod, the cold shoe mounts, I love those things. I know there's a new one out, but I haven't tried it yet. I will definitely have to give it a try. But these are the old ones, and I think they were $39 or $49. Man, they're worth every dime. They hold the strobe so secure. So I think I'm doing the same thing here. I think I'm too far away, and it's too high for my face, but we'll find out. Now, again, this, no matter what I do, because of that umbrella and the three sides of white, I'm not going to be able to hide my stomach. You can see it's just going to pop out. And because the light's going down, it's going to actually shadow more underneath my stomach and accentuate it even more. So in that case, I would actually turn into the light so it fills in the stomach. Now this, I'm just flipping that one side around. So if I did want a more dramatic look on the one side, or more shadowing, I would flip the light to the other side. But this, I just wanted to show you really quick that this can be done just the way it is. Obviously, the lighting is set up incorrectly for the eating of the light on the one side. But I just wanted to show you how quick and easy it was to set this up. And again, no matter which way I turn, because of the umbrella, I'm going to get a full light and full coverage. So these are all the different ways you can set these up and use them. And believe me, when you get them, you will come up with your own ideas. And see, I mean, subtracting light from the same side the light's coming from is not going to work. And I should have put that light over there, but you can figure that out, I'm sure. Now this, I use the black sides on each quite a bit, especially if I'm using a grid or a gridded beauty dish. I love the look of this because you're controlling every inch of that light. Now you don't have to have the black. It can go right through to the white wall or a different color backdrop. But having the black subtractive on each side, it gives you so much control over your light, where it's going to go, where it's going to fall. And having it directly over their head is huge. It's such a huge help. And that's when a boom arm would come in. So booms can be, like, I have a giant boom, and I got rid of my big one because it was just too big for the studio. I have a small studio, and I had one of those baby stands from Adorama, which are phenomenal and so worth the price. But I kept the arm from it and just use it on a C-stand now. But you can get the bars, with the multi knuckles and use those for a boom, and they work great for a speed light or lighter studio strobes. So anyway, I just wanted to fill you in on that and tell you that it would be a great help along with these V flats if you did have a boom arm, so you can actually put that light in other places, directly over the head and shoot underneath it, rather than having to get close to the pole and shoot around the pole. Anyway, now I'm just setting up for the underneath, the fill light. So, one umbrella, fill light, reflector on the camera left, and this is a great headshot setup. It's quick, it's easy, and it works. I would, probably lower that light just a little bit. I don't know if I do or don't on this, but I know that's going to be too high because of my age. And this stuff is the stuff you'll learn as you keep shooting. Some people like broad lighting. I did that before, and some people like short lighting. It depends on their face. If they, a rounder face, some people absolutely love a rounder face, and some people say, "Oh my God, I look fat." So you just have to read your models and understand where they're coming from. Again, second speed light is only used for focusing, so I can get some kind of a focus on this. And this is the last setup of the video. I apologize that it went so long, but I just really wanted you to see the different things you can do with this. So if you have the opportunity or somewhat of a small space, you really can use V-flats, and they really will come in handy. You're going to get so much out of these. And I'm not an advocate for V-flats. I don't make money off the company or anything like that. I'm not going to give you a link or whatever, affiliate link, because all I'm going to say is get a pair. They work great. And if you do have like a dick blick around you, then you just want to get the straight 4x8 sheets, you can do that too if you have the room for them. They just don't fold up and you can't take them with you. And these I will take with me on location because they work that well. And you know, they're a little cumbersome if you're going to be using them, but if you're setting up to do a big shoot, it's not that bad. And it's definitely worth it because you can really control the light. And if you go into a place with different color walls or all white or all black walls, like you need them. You need and I've used the pop-ups. I just don't like them. These I have much more control over these than I would pop-ups and so forth. Anyway, if you have any questions, leave them below. Thanks for watching. And again, I apologize for this being so long, but hopefully you got something out of it and learned something. Here's just one last shot so you can see what that looks like. Again, this is one speed light, an umbrella, and two V-flats. Anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate watching.